All right, so instead of doing the live stream, we're going to record this. I just wanted to kind of go over my reactions to Steamforged came out with a video message of Guild Ball and the 10-year history of their company. And of course, Steamforged can't really talk about their 10-year history uh, without talking about Guild Ball. It's what put them on the map. It's what made them famous. So I'm going to go through their video, talk about kind of what happened and my point of view, because obviously we have a podcast that started um, about Guild Ball. That was our main topic. And probably through episode like 75, that's almost exclusively what we made as far as content. And then obviously the game died. And then we did some God tier, little X Wing, a couple other things, but we eventually found our way home to Malifaux. So I think we got to do our due diligence and check this out and see what they have to say. So we'll go ahead and get started with the video. Before that, though, just background. Steamforged killed the game in COVID. I'm sure they were scared about their company, didn't know what was going on with everything, and they wanted to just kind of survive. Uh, so they ended up, after kind of prolonging what was happening, not a lot of action from the company with the game, they decided to end it. They ended up coming out with a letter essentially to the community that was not well received. They basically blamed the community, saying we were too competitive. We didn't allow for a lot of design space, and everything was either crap or great or overpowered. And they just could not do the game anymore. It wasn't essentially worth their time. I took that to mean as they got quick money doing things like Dark Souls and didn't feel like wasting money on Guild Ball, which probably wasn't making them as much money as they wanted to. As you're going to hear them say in this video, it was a labor of love, not making money. So we'll see what they have to say, and then we'll stop it as it goes on.
Hi, I'm Matt. This is Rich, and we are here as part of our 10-year celebration, anniversary.
Yeah.
10-year doodad.
10-year anniversary of Steamforged.
Yeah. I think one of the things that we wanted to really spend some time on is where it all began, which was with Guild Ball.
Mm-hmm.
And as part of the 10-year anniversary, we've been planning something.
Sorry if the video is a little choppy, obviously.
Cool. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to sharing it with everyone and seeing how people get on with it and hopefully have a lot of fun with it. I do think there's something that's worth addressing though. So obviously Guild Ball is currently parked in terms of development for us. And
dead.
That
buried.
Announcement didn't go down terribly well, and I think that's on me. I wrote the announcement, and I think the message that I was trying to convey wasn't the message that was heard, and that's on me, quite frankly.
It's on both of us. It's when we put that message out, we didn't ever intend to blame the community, and I think that's what was taken from it, and we're sorry for that.
Yeah, definitely.
That was not what we wanted, and I think at the time, I wish we would have gone back and talked about that and explained it, and we chose to say nothing, and it was the wrong call.
Well,
So this is kind of the funny thing about this, all right? They're saying like, we don't know exactly what we should have done. We decided to keep mute on it. Clearly the letter was not well received. Including us, like we recorded that day and talked about how much crap this was. And we were pretty furious, just trying to wrap our heads around what this meant as a community. And they've pretty much been silent on this for 4 years now. I mean, we're in 2024. This happened in 2020, and they're now just saying that, "Whoops, our bad." I don't think that's good enough. It's like we're gonna see what else they have to say, but 4 years of just silence. It to me it seems like you killed the game, you blamed the community, and you just until this. I never thought this video was gonna come personally. I thought they were just like, "Yep, Guild Ball's done. Community doesn't matter. We'll just take our losses there and make our money somewhere else." So we'll see what else they say, but it definitely that was the impression they gave.
It was tough though, because that that was a tough time for everyone in the world, as you know, COVID was starting to run riot through.
Lame excuse.
You know,
Lame
through
excuse.
everyone, and no one really knew what was going on.
No.
And we, you know, misfielded the message, and then we didn't really know what to do. And one of the things that I've always believed in is if you don't know what to do, doing nothing is the best option. But I do think
that is not true.
Doing and saying nothing meant
that doing nothing is not always the best thing to do. There is times where it's like, okay, let's wait this out and kind of see what starts to develop. That would have been good if they decided to, you want to know what, we don't know if we want to end the game. COVID's kind of like in this wishy-washy place. Are we going to be doing this forever? Are we not? We're scared about COVID. Let's pause development. And they could, lots of companies did that. They said, we're going to pause development. We're going to see kind of what happens, what the market is. We got to get, all our shipping stuff taken care of again. It's going to be a little slow. Just don't freak out. They could have done the same thing. They could have been like, we're going to put Guild Ball at a pause and we'll figure it out, right? But instead, they just killed it off, like almost right when the pandemic happened. It wasn't even like a year into it. Some companies were still struggling a year. They just decided to, it's almost like they used it as an excuse. They used the community and COVID as an excuse to kill it off. Obviously, they didn't stop the development of all their other games. So don't treat us like children. Give us the real info. The game wasn't making money for you to keep pursuing it. Tell us that's the reason instead of COVID in the community and other things.
We lost a voice in the conversation that was going on, and I'm pretty sad about it. Have been ever since, and
we let people down.
You look real sad.
That was the sad bit. We let people down. And this game means so much to us. It's the heart of what we started. We wouldn't be starting now.
So you ripped the heart out
and doing what we do now if it wasn't for, the people, the community around Guild Ball that started all this off, and and it did hurt at the time, and I think it's
you guys started us off. We really believe love you guys. You guys are the heart. Guild Ball is the heart of our company, and we just ripped it out and made our money and just said, see ya. That's kind of what that all means right there.
We want to try and start to fix that, and
I think so.
That's good.
Because, despite how much it sucked, it was still the right decision for the company and for the team overall. But it does mean that we're now in a position.
Why was that the right decision?
To do something.
They still haven't told us.
Yeah, when we made Guild Ball, it was we never intended it to. It sounds daft, but it wasn't a commercial thing. It wasn't something we thought about how we sell the products and how we do that. We were two guys with an idea. We played a lot of games like War Machine.
I can believe they got over their heads.
We just enjoyed gaming, and we felt like we could bring something to the market and do something between us, and that was the starting point, And
we've talked quite a bit, haven't we? As part of our planning, and certainly as part of like the messaging that we want to share is recognizing that path that we've been on, because we're now getting involved with companies who are making the mistakes that we were making way back when we first started. It's easy to do, and you don't know everything when you set
I'd
out
say
to
killing
do
off your main game is a
cool
pretty big
and a passion
mistake.
for it. And I think I know we're different people, and we're certainly set up
everybody
differently.
is.
We're certainly organised differently. Still many familiar faces, but I think we're 10 years older, 10 years wiser, and certainly recognise the mistakes that we don't want to ever make again.
Yeah, and it's more than me and you now.
Well, a mistake. I would hope they don't make a mistake like this again, but I mean, I would argue they don't have a game like Guild Ball right now. They have all these board games and IPs, and they're making minis, but they don't have a game like Guild Ball. Guild Ball was so monstrous. I think they lost control of that monster, and they didn't know how to put the genie back in the bottle to a way that would satisfy numbers as far as making money. And they just, in order to satisfy Guild Ball, they would have to put so much more money into the company. I feel that I don't know. They still haven't expressed this to us, but you have to believe they weren't making enough money, and they were making way more money than on those IPs and board games than they were on Guild Ball. And it just wasn't worth the amount of money they were sinking into Guild Ball.
Steamforged has grown to having multiple layers in the company with lots of familiar faces, but also they've also grown with the company. You know, we've got people with us now that have been here for 7-8 years. Coming on.
Started on this
that time,
cool game, got
I
big,
think,
and then dropped it.
As Guild Ball, it was the right call to end development at that time for the business. It's a hard call to do, when we had to do it.
Oh God, it wasn't pleasant.
It wasn't pleasant at all. And so now, fast forward, that the decision was.
No, don't fast forward. Why? Why was that the right call? You said it was COVID. You said it was the community. Why was that the right call to kill the game? The community wanted the game. Why killed it? Why did you kill it? They still need to answer that question. They haven't.
Was right, because that's why we are starting now in a position where we can,
as far as I know,
do these things around. When we're going to talk about, we can bring this back now to a degree.
To a degree. I mean,
what degree?
If I had my time over again, I would message it differently.
Yes.
I would make the same decision because it was the right decision, but I would not message it the way that we did.
Once again, why was it the right decision? They keep tiptoeing around this. Why was this the right decision to kill the game off? How much money were you losing? What was the problem with the community? Because even though I would say it was slow, events weren't selling as much, but I think that was directly as a result of the company being so mute over everything. There was no excitement, no campaigns, not a lot of models coming out. It was very dull time for Guild Ball when this got introduced. You could tell something was going on. And yeah.
Simple as that.
So what are we doing?
Look.
Yeah, what are you doing?
As you know, we've been working for pretty much most of this year on something pretty exciting. One of the things that has been a growing technology and is now reaching a point where we think that the quality and the reliability is there is the print-on-demand service that's available in pretty much most of the world. I think you can access.
Yeah, it's fully.
So I sat down with Russ and we had a look at the Guild Ball range of minis because there's a staggering amount of minis. I've painted nearly all of them, and
I will agree
looking at them
with
again
that.
and reviewing them with Russ with a view to putting them onto print on demand.
I will agree with that. The amount of miniatures and the sculpts are really awesome. I do love the feel of the game. Everybody loves the feel of the game. Everybody loves those models. So I agree 100% with what he's saying. People painted a lot of that range.
Brought back a lot of happy memories and
lots of good
but
memories.
a lot of understanding of what we know about how to make minis.
I got good memories when I sold my models. I was like,
this
is such a good game.
We made some mistakes with
missed ankle,
thinness of ankles, especially.
They did have really thin
contact
bits.
points with bases. And
Malifaux's pretty rough too
balance
sometimes, though.
Points and things like that. So Russ and I say Russ and I'm appending myself to his hard work, have gone through the entire range and re-engineered. We've touched every model, some more than others, but they are robust
so cool
now for a full print-on-demand
models.
availability, which isn't necessarily a business-driven decision. It's actually
my crew, man.
Something that we wanted to recognise, isn't it? That you see a lot of people who discover Guild Ball still, or people who have already played Guild Ball, lamenting the fact that they can't get hold of miniatures. And I remember back during COVID when I was interacting with the community, and one of the things that kept coming across is the supply chain is just not there. We cannot get hold of these minis. This is why the game is dying. And thinking about that in the time that's passed since then, and understanding that messaging now, and recognising that actually print on demand will allow us to put the minis in a place where people can access them if they want to, making sure we do it at certainly doing it at a price point that demonstrates that this isn't a business-driven decision, this is a love-driven decision. We want the range of minis to be available to people who want them.
So it sounds like they're talking about print on demand, you can buy these files to print off your guild, and you can use that to, play the game. You can build the Kickstarter, or the kickoff, whatever box, the starter box. I don't know how much I love that, because how many people, I know there's a lot of 3D printers out there, and you can get a buddy or know a guy who knows a guy to print stuff off, but I don't have a 3D printer, so Yeah, that kind of sucks for me. I'd have to find a nerd.
them.
Yes.
And what we're hoping is people will discover this game for the first time, and people who did play it will rediscover it and maybe grab a few minis. And
A lot
paint
of
them
people
and
still have their
play
Guild
the
Ball
odd game.
stuff.
It
I'm willing
gives
to
Guild
bet.
Ball a place to
Or
continue.
threw it in the
with,
trash.
You know, which we do. It sits
Yeah,
there.
like a library kind of, or an
Yeah.
archive of some sort.
So
but
it will always be on our site
archive
now.
sounds a bit final.
It does, yeah.
Something we wanted to like,
Present
because
the
the community have
lucky
done
emissary.
great work, haven't they? Actually, I went
yeah,
through the
GC,
rules.
done really well, and
So I went through like all the changes that the community have made over the last couple of years with Jamie. Quite forensically, we went through them all, and sure, look, didn't agree with all of them, but thought about what was trying to be achieved and where the guys and girls were going with it. And with Jamie's help, we've come up with what we think is a really quintessential. Actually, I use that in a different word, so I'll use another word: a classic version of the Guild Ball engine that represents fun, balanced play, and also the models are, and the individual characters are a really nice balance point as well. So we've been speaking with the community. We're gonna.
Thanks for doing all the work for us, nerds. We're going to touch this up and we'll spit it back out to you so you can print the cards and we can make a little money off of it. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Or the committee, I should say, and we're going to publish that set of rules, recognising the hard work that they've done and the custodianship that they demonstrated through the last sort of 2 or 3 years.
So
it's probably
bad.
worth to call out Longshanks as well, because I think the work over
God,
there.
yeah.
for the
Longshanks is
data
great.
to help us guide that and see that the coming has been really key to help make that kind of classic, like you say, a classic kind of point in the rule set. So
And it's cool to do because it's increasingly so, but certainly like last year, every show that I went to, I'd have at least a couple of dozen people come up to me and genuinely say, when you're bringing Guild Ball back, and not necessarily to poke fun or to make a point, but actually genuinely, please, when are you bringing it back?
Yeah.
And being able to hint only goes so far, and actually being able to talk about this is what we want to do, and I don't mind sharing that. What I hope will happen is people will discover the game again, and we've put some stuff in place that will help that happen. And if people do
See, I don't like that language. I don't like hope. We hope this is going to get people. It's like, if you're serious about bringing Guild Ball back, I want to hear, as a company, we are devoting a large sum of money to get this game back out on the shelves. Like, if you are honestly wanting this to be a thing again, you speak by actions, and that is money if you're a company. We want, and it's kind of like what you see Games Workshop doing with the old world. They put money into it. They made rule books. They brought the square bases back. They put these boxes in ways you can buy them for the old world. That shows they're trying to reinvest energy and a love for that format that is now dead, that game that was dead with Warhammer Fantasy. You at Steamforged are saying, we're going to give you the tools. We're going to use the rules you made tweaked by us, and you can have it back. It's like it never left for people that wanted to play it. I don't, and I'll talk more about that after they're done speaking. But yeah, not a great look.
discover it and we start, really getting a buzz, then we're now in a great position to start actively supporting, development on the product again. And well, I shouldn't say product is more of our baby really. Helping it grow again, but it really comes back to sort of seeing how people want to interact with the game, but we're going to give it every chance we can. So I think you come up with the idea, didn't you?
yeah, so we, again with the advent of technology and how the miniature realm as a whole has grown, the ability to give away files and give away things,
Giveaway?
printing has
Or are you
allowed us
selling?
to think about our kickoff set. Kickoff set, for those that don't know, is the kind of the intro product that we made for Guild Ball. It was incredibly successful.
How much
And
time are you going to
bringing
devote to
and
a game
spreading
if
the
you're
love of
giving it
Guild
away
Ball.
for free?
So, didn't we were one of the first to give away a rule set right back at the beginning, weren't
Way
we?
Which
back
is
in the
amazing.
day, yeah,
Yeah.
we give the rules for free and the cards for free. At that time, that was still, even now, still
Still is. You got to pay for that stuff for a lot of games.
And we're proud of that. And this for us is the next evolution.
That
of
brought me to
being able
Steamforged,
give
not
an
gonna lie.
introductory product, and
Yep.
so be able to give the kickoff set away
So
free.
that was actually something that was huge when I started playing Guild Ball, and I found out the rules are free, the cards are free, everything's free except for the models, pretty much. I was like, whew, this game company, they just want you to play a baller game, and they were right. It put them on the map. It put a lot of people were like, this is amazing. They just want you to play their game.
Which is the Brewers and the Mason team.
So it's 2 teams.
2 teams. Terrain from the kickoff set is in there as well, that we made separately to the kickoff set.
Nice.
Tokens, measuring stick, etc. It's
Is
all
that
in
POD?
there. It's all there available on the STL, so you can download it.
So it's STLs you can print at home.
You can print at home.
Brilliant.
So completely free. Go on the website, you'll be able to click the button and download it and play. And hopefully, like Mike
Go
said,
to their website. I'm curious if this is
hopefully
true.
people can then play if you've never seen the game or not played it, you can sample it and try it. And have reducing those barriers to entry, because fundamentally with Guild Ball, what we created back then, we didn't realize, was, we felt we had a good game, but over time it really has become a great game, and it's still regarded now as one of the best.
Then why did you kill it?
Always was a great game. It is regarded now as one of the.
Why did you kill the game? If it was such a great game, why did you kill it? It's a simple question. Why? If the game's really that great, why? Some people would say 40K, I would not be one of these people, is a great game. It's a fun game, not a great game. It's been around forever. They make money off of it. Like, that's what we need you to say, is like, I don't need like this, oh, it was such great, it was so great. It's like if somebody dies and they, you don't explain why they died. You don't explain cause of death. You don't explain, where they went, what happened to this person. You're just like, oh, they were great though, Okay, but how did they die? How can we prevent other people in games from dying? It's just lack of reasoning.
One of the best skirmish kind of games in the market, and to say that after 10 years and what we achieved, then it's a very it's very humbling for us to hear that. And
it's a fun game. That's it. It's just a fun game, and it's fun to play. And
is God Tier still a game?
I don't play it nearly as often as I would like to.
What's their main game now? What are they making their money off of?
Usually we're showing, and it brings back a lot of fond memories.
God bless you, Sherwin. I love you.
That's what I'm hoping is I know and understand and take responsibility for upsetting a whole bunch of people, and it does make me sad that happened. I'm hoping that they will take a look at this and forgive us for what we did. I think it's like I say, I still think it's the right decision, but we did not get the messaging right.
No.
So once again,
like I said,
as I minimize this,
I think.
So they're going to just kind of gobbledygook this up. So I'm not going to. I'm not going to sit here and keep messing with this, but looking at it, I will say that even though some people in the comments have said they don't think they're sincere, I wanted to be angry when I first watched this video. And I think that there's still some questions out there. So, I think there are serious things that it's like, okay, you still aren't quite getting to the point that you're not giving us enough. You're not explaining the situation in yourself enough. You're kind of, just giving these loose reasons and hoping that'll satisfy people. I do say though, even though, my initial reaction is anger, I actually respect them coming out with this video. This was not an easy video to make. When you make content or you make something saying I screwed up and you have to own up to that, it is something that is hard. I have a teenager who does the wrong thing sometimes, and it's hard to teach that even a teenager to be like, you messed up, you need to turn around and go make up for this mistake. And granted, it's 4 years later. Good Lord, where was this even 2 or 3 years ago? Give it some time to breathe. But man, you waited almost half a decade to almost 5 years to bring this up. And I do think giving some grace here and saying like, it is big of you to to admit faults here. Even though you're not giving us the whole story, it is big of you to do that. And in society, I feel like we need to be more graceful and accepting apologies, even though, just because somebody apologizes and we accept the apology doesn't mean that, okay, now I'm going to buy in. Like now I'm back in Guild Ball and it's, 100% in. That's not the thing. You hear the apology and you give them the opportunity to show you that they are sorry through their actions, so that they are changing. And if they are going to make Guild Ball a thing again, to use their actions to bring that back. I know a lot of people who would play Guild Ball and there's hope with this message. The apology is hope that they're going to change and maybe do something for the community. And the actions with the files and, tweaking the rules a little bit and free kickoff, box that you can print, those are small steps to show that, yes, we want to do something for the community. But you got to go a little further if you want to bring people, new people and old people, especially old people. I think if this isn't product you can buy, how are you going to promote this to new people when you go to conventions? Like I see all these fancy boxes in the background. You can see there are some Guild Ball stuff, probably some God tier. I can see all their board games. I can see their RPG models. You bring those to conventions. How are you going to market Guild Ball? How are you going to bring in new players? Are you going to have them out there and you say, here's the website. You can go there to print these off. The rules are there. Like, what does that look like? And then I also don't like that though, because I'm a big local game store guy. This doesn't benefit the game store at all. Like, the game store needs to be there for us to play these games, at least at a good level. I can play at home, but that's not good. So what's the kickback for the stores on this? How is the store going to support this? If I was a game store, why would I support Guild Ball if it's print on demand and I can't order stuff to sell to my customers? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. So yeah, I am accepting the apology. I'm not mad at Steamforged. That's something I know a lot of people on the podcast have, we were built on being salty and a little edgy and, F this, F that. I've come a long way after being podcasting for 6-7 years, whatever it's been. And, when somebody apologizes, you accept the apology and let's kind of see where they go from that. People mess up. Steamforged did mess up here. It cost them a lot too. Luckily, they had all the IPs to replace that, but I'm sure they felt it because their name recognition probably wasn't very good for a lot of people. I haven't bought any of these board games because I didn't like what the company did. So we'll see where they go from this. I'm curious. Honestly, I'm probably not getting back into Guild Ball. Like I can respect the apology. There was a lot of people that had bad things happen to them when this went down. A lot of wrong was done. Hopefully, the people that they individually hurt by their decisions, hopefully those people were reached out individually. Hopefully before this, hopefully sometime within the last 3 years, they were like reaching out to individuals that were seriously impacted by these events, whether it was getting fired from Steamforged or, developers getting let go or, content creators having a big impact over that. A lot of people got impacted. People buying minis. I know there was a lot of people that bought into Guild Ball and like weeks later it ended. What about those people who bought into your game and you just cut the game loose and no reason besides a poorly worded letter, to say the least? And yeah, it's just so terribly handled. I hope game companies use Steamforged as an example of how to not operate when you're thinking about letting a game loose or you're thinking about going in a different direction like they were. Because that's what this was. I think they saw the money and they went towards it. So Steamforged, I officially accept your apology. I wish you the best of luck. And I hope that Guild Ball becomes half the game it used to. It's never going to be the same because There are way too many people that were burned by this, but I know there's enough people that love the game that if there was any kind of support that Steamforged started putting actual money into, and they had actual developers working on this, I know the game would be played. It was too good of a game. It is still the cleanest game that I think I have ever played. It is the best game I think that I have ever played, like they said. But my question goes back to, why did you kill it? Why did you kill the game? You pushed me away. I'm playing Malifaux and loving it now. All my Guild Ball stuff sold. Got rid of it. I think I sold all of it for like $150. All of it. Didn't matter what I had. It was gone. So unless you put some serious action, and what you said right there with files and all these rules that the committee came up with and you just kind of checked off and tweaked, those aren't serious actions to me. Those are starting actions. Those are showing a little faith, like good faith on your end. But until you put serious backing behind this game, I won't touch it. Like, I'm not going to waste my time with it. It's a fine game, but I'm playing Malifaux. Even playing games like the Old World or Age of Sigmar are more interesting to me right now than going back to Guild Ball. Unless you do something serious, like investing in the community, I'm not even interested. Until I see boxes coming up on shelves again, or Kickstarters, as you like to do, I'm not interested. Like, until there's real product, real smoke, real fire, a real movement for it. I think there was something where they had like the world championship on Vassal or something, and they couldn't even fill it out. Like, there's not a lot of it's a dead carcass that people are trying to keep alive, and I think some people love it and they're gonna keep playing it. But if Steamforged is gonna try to resurrect this, they're gonna have to do a lot more. This isn't it. But good luck to you, Steamforged. I look forward to other news that comes out towards Guild Ball. I'm not touching any of your other games though, so if Guild Ball becomes a thing yet, I might become interested in your company again. But that's that. Hopefully you guys like this. This is the first reaction video I did to this, so we'll see what it looks like when everything's said and done. But until next time, make sure you guys are flipping cards, flipping tables. We'll see y'all later.